Welcome back to the outdoor blanket fort for this special summer season on our Parenting Poddy podcast. Now, Emma, wifey darling, did you know?
Did I know?
We are celebrating 2 years of podcasting.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Yay! We're re-releasing some old conversations, re-editing them from back when we first started. We only had one child. Lily was only 2.
Oh.
They are gold, perfect episodes.
I do enjoy a lot of our old episodes.
The old classics. It's like Disney, isn't it? Back to the old Disney classics. I don't know if this makes them the what we're doing now, like the live action remakes, but maybe don't think of it like that.
That's hopefully a bad comparison. Should we explain? Because it's going to be summer. We're not going to have time to be recording, really. So this is going to be filling the gap over the break.
It means there's something there for people to engage with if you are around. If not, don't worry. We'll be back in September with all new topics.
Yeah.
So I've listened back to the conversation we're going to hear.
What are we talking about today?
In this episode, we share all about what we both do for jobs and how we manage to do those jobs full time whilst having Lily, or at least when we, had Lily 2 years ago, and just generally chat about some of the challenges that comes from that scenario of how you work and how you look after children. As always, we don't really have any solutions. We also share some of our thoughts on how things might have changed since when we were young and what our parents did with us, and touching on, some of the maybe feminist themes about like women and work and what you like to do, Emma, and what you would do in an ideal world. I think it's a really interesting episode, something that's just as relevant now and relatable and challenging as it was when we chatted about it all those years ago.
Let's get on with the episode.
Here we go. We're going back through the portal in time. Woo! Play the recording. Welcome back to the Hobbit hole.
Oh, I like that one.
Here in the Crippen household, it's pretend nighttime, because it's not actually nighttime. But whenever you're listening to this,
we're a podcast here to chat about
parenting, life, and our experiences, to share the ups and downs. I'm Elliot. I'm the usually quiet one, and I'm here with my wife Emma, who's the chatty one.
Chatty, yeah.
Yeah, chatty.
Especially late at night, we're trying to get to sleep. And he's like, oh, Chatty's here again. And I'm like, I can't help it. For some reason, just before bed, Chatty takes over.
Yeah.
And I can't stop chatting.
I'm sat there. I like my sleep. As you probably know, I don't do well with the lack of sleep. So I'm sat there trying to get to sleep, and she's like nattering away about something, telling me about drama and things she's learned, and I'm just like, chatty one, go to sleep. No. I feel like it's accurate. If you know us in real life, outside of listening to our voices, you'll probably think that I'm quite quiet, and you'll probably experience Emma being quite chatty.
So when you say you probably think you're quite quiet, I think that's just a fact.
Oh yeah, that's true. But like when we talk, I'm quite chatty.
Yeah,
I like a talk.
No, it's because you're an introvert, so you're happy with people you know, but you're not happy with people you don't know as well.
That's true. So it's time for our parenting achievement. Ding.
Ding.
What achievement? Shall I look at my list?
Once again, looking full of woe. Can you tell I'm the one who just doesn't prepare for this, and I'm just
That's because you're the interesting one who everyone's come to listen to.
We don't know if that's true. Okay. You're very interesting.
Maybe.
In your own unique way.
Lovely backhanded compliment.
Just for clarification, in the last episode, his interesting fact he shared with everyone that he doesn't like fish, but he likes water, but not to drink, just to be in.
It's accurate.
Yeah, I'm just saying, those are the kind of natural comments you come out with that do make you interesting, but in a weird way.
That's what I'm going for. It's what my online personality is, just that bit of a weird guy.
That's not your online personality, that's just who you are.
So the parenting achievement that I've remembered was from when Lily was quite little and she'd started to play with things, and one of her favourite toys, typically with children of quite kind of like most ages, I think, but I suppose maybe if you've got older kids, you can let us know if it continues, is the most interesting things tend to be things that aren't toys.
Yeah.
You know, like cutlery and random objects and just things that...
What is that? You get them fake keys. What do they want? Real keys. They want the fake keys.
Yeah. So when she was like 6 months or so, maybe younger, but it stretched over quite a few months, we kind of created this weird toy that was her favourite thing, which was a xylophone stick.
Yeah.
And on the stick was a Yoda head.
From like an old shampoo bottle that looked
Yes.
like Yoda. It's a very simple toy.
And the fail was that we had loads of toys, like loads of things to try
Because
and...
people had given us a lot of stuff, very kind, but she ignored them.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, I want this
Favourite
stick
toy,
and Yoda."
Yoda on a stick.
And we used to sing the song Yoda on a stick.
You create songs for a lot of stuff.
I do. If you want to hear the songs, I can do a rendition of a separate video of a lot of songs we made up.
Well, this has veered off on a tangent slightly.
It has.
Anyway, if you have a parenting achievement, a parenting fail, it can be this week, it can be any points that you want to share with us. Does your child like a strange toy that they've became attached to? Let us know.
Have they picked up a weird habit?
Yeah.
Lily really likes at the minute pretending to fall over. She goes,
I think that's quite common.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm not
It's just
sure.
quite weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Other people tell us, is that weird or is that normal?
I think it's normal, but it seems like an odd behaviour for an adult to view. Where your child, like, is walking completely normally and then pretends to fall over. And you have to go, oh, no, and really, like, big it up.
So our topic today is about work and stuff.
Yeah. Work and stuff.
Work and stuff. Yeah, probably helpful to start with what our jobs are. Do you want to explain what your job is, Emma?
Yeah. So it's hard to explain, but I'll try. I always say I translate video games, but actually I oversee the translation of video games is my
You're
job.
an auditor.
Yes. So I basically check other people's translations and then I correct them.
You're like the final checker.
Yeah, final
before
checker.
the video game gets approved.
Yeah.
Well, the
The translation of it gets approved.
the transcript.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are under the misconception that you are able to sit and play all the video games
No.
you translate. but
Sometimes
it's not
I
quite that
get to
fun.
see characters and clips, but often I won't see anything. I'll just see the
You
text.
do get to know like the storyline
Yeah,
of video games that have not been released
which
yet.
is quite exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've worked on some famous video games.
I have.
Do you want to say some?
So I've worked on Red Dead Redemption. I think it's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
And technically we worked on, I think, one of the Harry Potter ones, but I'll be honest, it was more like terms and conditions. And I think that was when it was online, not when it was an actual...
So not the new Legacy game.
It might have been the new Legacy game, but it was a long time ago now. So it seems like...
There's often a lag, isn't there, between when you're working on it and when it comes out.
Yeah. But it wasn't particularly, when people think that was interesting, that bit wasn't, because it wasn't any of the main bit. It was just a section.
And what languages do you speak and translate into?
Sorry, I forget I have to... This has to ask me questions, because I just assume people know me.
Well, that's lovely.
Thank you. I do French, Spanish and Italian, and my languages, and it's obviously English.
Yeah. So typically with translation, you normally translate into your... What's the
Mother
word?
tongue?
Yes, that's what I was looking for. So you're translating from like French, Spanish and Italian into English.
Yes, but normally, yeah. So I don't so at the minute, it's more making sure the meaning has got across. So if it's from English to another language, I'm like, you have to know the nuance of this is what this actually means in English. So the cultural context, the way it's said, if it's sarcastic, all that kind of meaning, you have to make sure that's being achieved in the other language, basically.
Yeah. A good example was like, because it's video games, you've done ones before where there's like wordplay with stuff on that's happening on the screen. So like a puzzle in a video game.
There was one we were doing where it was like they would purposely give you words that sounded the same. Like, I can't remember an example now. Like, this is probably to put me on the spot. I'm panicking. Like saw and saw. So something is sore because you've hurt yourself, and something you saw it or saw like a physical item.
Yeah.
And it's one of those like wordplay situations where
But
you go,
when you translate it, those words don't sound the same. So therefore it's no longer a puzzle.
well, they might not even have the same starting letter in the language.
Yeah.
So then to make the puzzle work, you have to find two completely separate words that work, but also maybe help work in the context related.
Learned an awful lot with you about translation and languages and just how any translation there's always loss in understanding.
Yeah. It's a big thing when I studied it. We just had to learn about like the principle of loss and how no matter kind of what you're translating something to something else, there is going to be loss because there's never the exact same idea culturally or the exact same words or nuance in any language compared to another. So even if you think, oh, we're all European languages, that should make it easier, it doesn't necessarily.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Your job is always fascinating. When we meet people, people are always interested by yours.
This is why I was surprised you asked me to say my job first, because normally Elliot wants to do his job first to kind of get out the way.
Yeah.
So people actually listen to what his job is.
Yeah. Depends who we're talking to, though. I mean, quite a lot of, should we say, older people we talk to don't understand either of our jobs.
No, I often get from older people, so it's on a computer. And I go, yes.
Yeah, we both work on computers.
We both work on
That's
computers.
What we do. So I work in tech, I suppose, is probably the easiest way to describe it. I'm kind of like a consultant with the church. I'm a digital enabler, helping with all things digital in like local churches. I don't work for a specific church, but the Methodist, I cover a large area of Methodist churches. So kind of like around 200 churches or so, I kind of help try and encourage them to do more social media and live streaming and websites and graphic design and publicity and
all that good stuff.
All sorts of things. I'm a jack of all trades. I don't. Yeah. There's people that have better skills than me out there in doing a lot of these things, but I suppose my big plus is that I can do quite a lot of them. And
I think you're quite modest. You've mastered a lot of things.
Yeah. And the challenge of it is then trying to teach old people to do it.
Yeah. That's your biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I took a great picture that I think he's lost ages ago of him on the phone when he was trying to explain something to an elderly person over the phone. And it was hilarious because his face was such a picture of confusion and almost annoyance of being like, I can't understand how they don't get this. It's something I experience with my mum on a regular basis.
So I suppose in terms of both our work, we both work from home.
Which we were going to say is quite unusual, but it isn't as unusual as it once was.
Yeah, a lot more common now.
Our neighbours pretty much work from home. She's only just been made to go back to the office now, I think. So, with COVID, it's more...
We have quite a lot of friends that work hybridly as well, like some days in the office and some days at home. So it's becoming more common.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to know how many of you out there listening work in an office or work from home or what you do.
Or do both.
Let us know in the comments what your job is. We'd love to hear. It's really interesting, isn't it?
I mean, we're not prying. If you don't want to tell us your job...
It's not compulsory.
You're not, we're not going to force you. You can tell us the field or something if you know.
And the other, I suppose, big element of it is we're both full-time.
Yeah.
Which brings its own challenges, as does working from home. And that's kind of what this whole episode is about.
Yeah.
So when Lily was a baby, we should talk about time off we had from work.
Yeah.
So we did things slightly differently. So I had a very typical experience of, I think I had like 2 weeks paternity leave or something.
That's pretty normal, yeah.
But again, because we work from home and I work from home, as a church, my employer's like very kind and flexible. So I have loads of flexibility to work around having a baby, which was fantastic, really. We couldn't have survived without the generosity of being able to, to like work in the night and be around to help you with the baby in the day and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know a lot of mums have time off and then there's a whole thing about going back to work, but we had a slightly different experience. Do you want to explain?
So because this is just our country doesn't particularly do maternity leave that well. I know it's better than America, but you don't get your full pay.
I mean, we should say it depends on who you work for.
Oh, yeah.
And
So,
a lot of companies can be quite generous.
So
but if
one
you're
of my
following,
sisters works for a big pharmaceutical company. I won't name them. And they pay her very well the whole time she's off.
Yeah.
She's got a really good basis there. Because my company is foreign, they would just go along with whatever government suggested, which was basically you get your first 3 months, I think, you get your proper pay, and then it goes down. So I made the decision I was just having my full pay for the first 3 months.
So you haven't explained the main difference. So your company is based and has an office in Paris, in France.
Yes.
And as a result, they follow French law around maternity leave, which they do very differently. So,
well, they said I could do the English system or the French system. But the French system was the one that benefited us monetary-wise better.
Yeah. Looking back on it, I don't know if we made the right decision.
No. I think if when we have another child, I will probably just take the 6 months off. But I did the French system where I took 3 months off because I didn't want to do the English system where I just wouldn't have any money. You would have some money, but I'm our main earner. So it's a bigger hit for me to take.
I don't know. I feel like it might be a misconception here because I know, you can have 9 months off in the UK, but I don't think a lot of people always realise that that's not like paid.
That's not your full wage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount you get from the government is quite little. So you had 3 months off on your full salary and then went back. But, I mean, 1 month of that was in kind of crossing over the last month of your pregnancy because we had a difficult pregnancy.
Well, we had a difficult pregnancy. And I thought, wrongly, I made the assumption that I would be giving birth early. Basically, family-wise, they all gave birth early. I thought it'd be the same for me. Wasn't. I was actually late. So I took unnecessary time off before that point.
So actually, you went back to work unusually after 2 months of us having our baby. And we were both back at work full time. And we didn't really have any childcare because both our parents don't live that close by.
Also, it's still quite COVID-y times.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was trying to think why didn't we have childcare? But yeah, that's a good point. It was still kind of like in COVID. And so, we were working full time and had Lily. So that was tough. So
really tough.
I'm sure others will have different experiences and it would be great to hear from people.
We say it's not common, but in America it's very common that you will be at work that soon.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
If anyone's listening from there, they will think we're quite spoiled and they're like, oh, nobody does that. They do often in America have to work that soon. So it's not abnormal for other countries.
Yeah. I'd not really thought about that.
There you go.
Teaching me something.
Yeah.
So how was the return to work for you? I suppose you hadn't had that long off, so it's not like...
No, it was more... honestly, it wasn't too bad in that she was first at the age where she could lay on you. And when you're on a computer and she's laying on you, it's not too bad. So
again, the advantage of working from home is you could sit there and be with Lily and work.
Exactly. So it just meant you just put her on you. It's only once she kind of got bigger and more aware of things, it was harder because she then wanted your full attention. Whereas like the early days, she was just happy to have that contact. So she wasn't actually that bothered you were working. She was just kind of like, I want to lay on you. And that's enough for me to be happy.
I suppose some of the big challenges, and this will be one that I think most people will experience, is trying to work and go back to work when you're so tired.
Oh, yeah.
I went back after 2 weeks. I say back, again, working flexibly. I was at home. I was doing bits and pieces. But, at that point, it was not sleeping well at all. And so trying to do some work when you're just exhausted is so hard.
Especially, I was worried sometimes because I'm the final check. I was like, if I miss it, it's gone. That's that mistake made.
So the other related challenge to that was not only trying to work when you're tired, but also trying to fit in the hours of work. And because we work from home and be flexible, it meant we would fit in hours of work when otherwise we might be sleeping.
Yeah, true.
So sometimes the time we got to work was those moments in the middle of the night when, you're free or baby free, when Lily was asleep or when Lily was up and in the night and you could do some work. So again, it was eating into time
Yeah.
to recuperate.
True.
So that was tough.
And often I'd be like, right, I'm going to pump milk while doing my work. So I'm doing 2 things at once just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I forgot that, because that's another whole element, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how you manage going back to an office. Like,
Well, some offices have schemes in place, or you can go, like, there's rooms dedicated for you to go and pump some milk and that kind of thing. But I don't know. Once again, it depends on your employer. Really dependent.
yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Like, I found it tough as a man, but it's definitely harder as a woman.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Definitely. And even harder if you're in an office.
Yeah. We recognise we were very fortunate.
Yeah.
It brings its own challenges, which we'll talk about in a minute. But, you know, we were very fortunate both working from home. It did give us that flexibility and meant one of us wasn't, I didn't have to leave you all day, you know, go to an office.
And also, we didn't have to, sounds terrible, you didn't have to shower and put on nice clothes and, like, make an effort. Because at that stage, I just was wearing pajamas every day.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things I hadn't anticipated becoming a parent, was the amount of, like, personal hygiene stuff that just goes out the window. Like, it's real luxury in those early days. Like, if I clean my teeth, I was like, yeah, I'm doing a good job today.
I've had a shower, like, luxury.
Yeah. One of the challenges for us, and maybe it's unique and maybe it's not, I don't know, because we both worked from home, it was finding that balance of how we work out what's childcare and when do we fit in work. And I know around that kind of 4 or 5 months, it really wasn't working. For me, I was really struggling because we were just trying to juggle everything.
You felt like you just were failing on all fronts.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, I'm not giving her 100% of my time. I'm not giving my work 100% of my effort. It was really difficult because I didn't feel like I was achieving anything at any level.
And for me, I do a job where, you know, I work for the church, and so I'm quite passionate about it. It's not a job I do just for the money. It is a job that I really care about, and I feel kind of it's what I really like doing in life.
I also think there's an element of millennial guilt in that a lot of millennials were just really grateful to have jobs.
Yeah.
So we really value them.
So there is a kind of guilt there about, like, I'm not putting 100%
I'm not putting all my effort into this, and I really
not
should
putting
be.
the hours in.
Yeah.
I struggled with that more than anything, because actually my work were quite lenient.
Yeah. Very lenient.
You know, they cared as much about my mental health as they did about my work output, but it was the guilt that kind of, you're not doing all the hours. But we then implemented a new system that worked a bit better, where rather than just juggling everything all day, every day, we took...
Which we should have thought, that's a stupid idea.
We had set days then. We were like, right, so this day I'm going to take completely off work and just look after Lily all day, and the other person can go and work, do a long day.
A long day of working.
Like start early, end late, and get the hours in. And then we kind of swap over.
Yeah, and that worked much better.
Much better.
Once again, might not be groundbreaking. People might go, yeah, that's what you should have done.
I think, when you're sleep deprived, you just don't think of things. You're just like,
I think we were just like, we'll just muddle through.
Yeah. How hard can it be? But that was nice, because then I could go out for like long walks with Lily in her pram, and I didn't feel guilty then that I wasn't doing work.
Yeah. And actually enjoy doing stuff with her rather than thinking, oh, she's asleep now, I could be running and doing something.
Yeah, I think next time definitely we're going to have to think of a better way, because...
Well, I think I'll just have to take more time off.
Yeah, I mean, that brings its own things, doesn't it? I know it's tricky then if I'm working full-time and you're off on maternity, the kind of balance in what we could... Because we like to try and do stuff 50-50.
We like to try and be equal.
It's then quite hard about what that balance looks like. But we'll have to cross that bridge.
We'll work it out when we get there.
If that's something you're experiencing or have gone through, then give us your tips. We'd love to hear your advice.
Yeah.
Can't promise we'll take it, but you know. So moving forward to more recently, we've now got nursery and childcare, and it's a lot better now.
It is. It's super expensive though.
Yeah. I mean, the work-life balance is better.
Oh, yeah.
But it's costing us a lot of money.
Really enjoys it. Like, it's definitely worth it on the scale of Lily loves nursery and loves spending time with other children. That's well worth it. It's when I used to think we weren't well off, but now I realise I'm spending nearly £500 a month, basically, spending Elliot looked at me like, is that right? And then he was like, yeah, but that is.
Well, that's not the full amount, because that's just for 2 days.
That's just for nursery.
That's 2 days.
I did say nursery.
Yeah, but you could be in nursery all week.
Oh, yeah, no, that's two days of nursery. Yeah, that's not a week of nursery.
I think we're in an expensive area for nursery. But,
Yeah.
I have heard of others who pay a lot more than us as well. So, you know.
That's a sad thing. Some people are paying more for their 2 days of nursery.
We won't dwell on that. Let's not dwell on that.
I'm just like, I never considered as well off. And now I'm like, wow, I used to have that money that, would just go into savings. That seems incredible. What was I doing?
When Lily first started nursery, there was a different dilemma with the work-life balance, which was suddenly we had days where Lily wasn't here.
Yeah.
But bizarrely, it then felt like we had time to do all the stuff we were putting off.
Like housework, shopping.
Like you suddenly had space to do these things, but really we were meant to be working.
Yeah.
So we often found days when she was at nursery really useful time, but then the kind of guilt returned of like, oh, I've not done any work today.
I've not done much work today. I've done all tasks around the house, We have, I won't name her because I don't know if she wants to be in the podcast, but we have a nanny who comes once a week on a Wednesday to look after Lily. And that's what we got before nursery because we wanted just some extra help. And she's wonderful. But our new problem with that is Lily has gone through a phase where she realises when the nanny comes that we're still upstairs and she's just downstairs. So the nanny has to take her out normally about first thing once she arrives because Lily's quite like, I like you, but I have 2 parents upstairs who I could play with. And that's kind of a separate challenge we have is making Lily know that we may be upstairs, but we're not available right now.
So outside of the practicalities, the kind of the challenges of our setup are more around having a healthy work-life balance and just trying to work out what that looks like. Because I suppose like a lot of millennials and those that work from home, work is basically all hours of the day.
Yeah.
So we don't have set work hours, but it does mean that it is quite hard to distinguish between work and not work.
Yeah.
You're kind of always on in both our jobs. So
it's slightly easier for me that I'm not normally contacted or rang up. Because
you don't have to answer emails and things.
No. Well, only from my boss, but that's 1 or 2 emails. It's not a lot. So mine's quite easy in that I know the people I will be hearing from and it is at regular times. It's not like I can be suddenly called up and there's an emergency whereas Elliot can kind of get random requests from people to do different jobs, which makes it more challenging to know what you're going to be doing when. And
it's like holidays and things, isn't it? Or if we take a day out or, there's no one to cover my job because I'm unique. Like a unicorn. Only person that can do it, I suppose, in a certain extent, or no one. I don't know.
I mean, there's no one else doing your job in your capacity.
So, taking a break or holiday, it's not a break. Well, it is a break from work, but the work just piles up for when you come back, and then you have more work.
Well, we went on a holiday with a couple of friends, and they kept saying, Charlie, he's always on his phone. And I was like, yeah, he's answering emails. He's still.
Yeah, if I get him out of the way now, I won't have to do him when I get back.
Yeah.
So there is a challenge there with keeping ourselves in a good place with that balance between work and life. I suppose it's becoming more common with lots of people working from home, working out what what does working from home with kids look like?
Because I think the advantage is you don't have to do certain hours, but it's also a disadvantage in that you can do it whenever. So you can do stupid hours.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work all the time.
And as with a lot of people that work from home, you have the kind of stories and things that happen. Lily's always kind of Zoom bombing into my meetings.
Yeah.
Coming in through a door and I'm on a meeting.
I don't know, I've told this story about one of my colleagues. And she's the head of the Spanish part of our company. She's has 2 young children. Well, actually, they won't be that young anymore, but they were when I started. And it was during COVID times. her husband was given the one job of keeping the children out of the room while she was on this important meeting with some clients, trying to be like, we're a very respectable company and this is why you should choose us, and, you know, that kind of spiel. In the middle of this meeting, her naked toddler walked in and peed on the floor. I remember she said she was so embarrassed, but also furious in that she was like, I gave him one job. One job was for no one to come in this room and not to let a naked child walk in the frame and pee on the floor. So she said, like, her husband then was coming running behind, grabbing the child and taking him out of the room. And she was like, I better apologise. I also don't really want wee on my floor. Should I stop the whole call? And she said the people were so professional, they just kind of ignored it. They didn't even acknowledge it had happened, which I don't know if that made it more or less awkward. I drove afterwards, she was furious.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that sums up a lot of, working from home with a toddler. That's quite what it's like, isn't it? I had one recently where I was in a meeting and Lily kind of came in through the door. So this is the problem, though. She knows where I'm working in the house, so she'll come and visit. And it's like, I know you're up here. And I'm like, I'm working. You go down and play. And she's like, no, I've come to see you. So she comes in and gets on the bed and then starts to play this game.
She's never played this game before.
So just for context, I got a little desk and kind of set up in the bedroom. So the bed was behind me. So she was in shot. I had like a blurred background, but it was very obvious. She was like stood on the bed and doing this funny game of running and like throwing herself face forward into the pillows. And then she'd like laugh hysterically and jump up and go and do it all again. So I had this like weird blob behind me, and like out the corner of my mouth, I was trying to go, Lily, stop it. Come here. Get out there. I'm on a meeting. I need. And I had to mute myself because she was obviously screaming as well, going like, woohoo, this is great.
It was more amusing because she'd never played such an odd game on the bed before.
Yeah. I was like, what game is this? I don't know. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Anyway. That's what it's like, life at the moment. Do you think things have changed? Like when we were little, I think work and parenting were done quite differently, really. Obviously, I don't think any of I was going to say none of our parents worked from home, but your dad was a farmer.
Yes. He did work from home in the most, old-fashioned of senses.
Literal sense.
Yeah.
Not on a computer, out in the fields.
Yeah, I did work out in the fields. And my mum did work. So, because I knew a lot of families, probably says where I live, a lot of families where I lived, only the husband worked. The wife wouldn't necessarily work.
Yeah, and we still encounter that quite a lot now, don't we? People get surprised that we both work full time.
Very surprised. When we first moved here, and I remember they were very sweet at church, but I think because they're an older generation, they were say, we've moved for your husband's job. And I was like, yeah, that's why I've moved. And then they'd go, so are you like, what, like, are you going to enjoy yourself? Like, kind of like they were implying I was just going to go out shopping. Like, we've got some great shops around here. And I was like, no, I have a job. Like, I have to work. And they were kind of like, oh, really? And then I was telling them what my job was, which, so it's already...
On computers.
On computers. On a computer, yep. And they were just amazed. I think because a lot of people just assumed we'd moved for your jobs, therefore...
But that's kind of how things have changed quite a lot, that I think, like, a lot more women were stay-at-home mums back when we were young.
I think that's true.
And these days it is less common just because of
cost of living,
that sort of stuff. And I feel like you need to talk about this more than me, really. But women wanting to work as well.
They have more choices. I'm more annoyed that I have to work.
Like the opposite perspective.
Yeah, no, as in I want to work because I want to work. Whereas I think a lot of women, we have to work, and a lot of women then still have to run everything at home, which I don't think is the way it should be. I think we touched on this probably in a previous podcast, in that we really intentionally have tried to make it as 50-50 as possible. But I know a lot of women who complain that they're working a full-time job, their partner's working a full-time job, but they're still working a full-time job in that they organise everything in their house. They do all the cooking, the cleaning, the childcare. Like,
parenting is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's really important to say that as well in terms of stay-at-home mums as well. That is a job.
Yeah.
Or stay-at-home dads.
Yeah, whichever way you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's a really hard job. And that we really, not in a nasty way, it's nice working when she's at nursery. You have that breath to enjoy yourself and, you know, the freedom. Which a stay-at-home parent, you won't have that.
But that's what's also changed as well because of that. So when we were little, I think it was less common to go to nursery as a kind of essential childcare. So
Yeah,
I didn't go as young. I didn't only went to nursery the year before I went to school as almost like a preparation because
See, once again, that's different. We went to nursery quite young.
Oh, did you?
But
I suppose
that's because my mum was working.
Yeah, that's true. My mum didn't work initially. I'm not quite sure how long for when she went to work.
Yeah.
But also there were 4 of you. Like,
Yeah.
talk about a full-time job. I mean,
Yeah.
looking after 4 of you, that's a challenge.
It is. I can't even imagine it.
It's hard enough with 1.
It is. Imagine 4 of them running around. But yeah, so we went to nursery fairly young. It was still older than Lily, though. Because I think even now a lot of people, their children seem to go at 3 when it's part of it's paid for. Like you get some 3 hours.
Point. Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of posts on Facebook, people like, first day at nursery. And in my head, I'm like, well, they look quite old.
Yeah, so Lily went when she was a year.
Yeah.
But we know people that, I mean, our nursery will take them from
6 months.
6 months, I
Yeah.
think. Is that the, yeah. I could see how that might work.
Yeah.
We had a nanny from that point because it was a bit easier and then she went
Yeah.
a year. But we know from our neighbours as well who are also have a child about to start school that, again, like the work-life balance, it changes again because like school day is a different length to nursery.
Shorter than nursery.
So it's like, what do you do there? That's a bit complicated. We haven't hit that point yet.
No.
We only have a 2-year-old. So we'd love to hear from you if you have a slightly older child and how that's changed things for you if they've started school. Is how does that affect like work and life and what the challenge is? We'll find out. We'll find out when we get there.
Right, you're back with future Emma and Elliot.
Ta-da! Which is so weird because we will also end up being past Emma and Elliot.
Yes, we we are present in all moments of time.
Anything you want to add into that episode?
There's a few things to bring up this week. Primarily that my job has actually changed a little bit since we recorded this a couple of years ago. I still work for the same organisation and the church and stuff, but the type of job I do has changed a little. So I no longer support and help and resource like churches specifically. I get to be like a full-time content creator, which is fantastic. It's a really bizarre experience, but I get paid to do stuff like this podcast and do things on social media and like connect with people out in the world, have conversations with people about faith and spirituality in all sorts of creative ways online. And that's what I get paid to do full time. So it's a really interesting and fulfilling job in a weird sort of way. But a lot of the stuff we talked about still completely applies in the context. Like nothing's really changed in terms of how it relates to parenting or work-life balance or any of that stuff. Just like the specific work I do has changed a little bit. Obviously, one of the really interesting things to touch base with at this point is just like the difference now that we've got 2 children, and how it compares to when we were talking about this with only 1 child. I mean, as you'd expect, I think it's got even harder. The work-life balance is even more stretched, and we were still not very good at it. Everything that we mentioned as like kind of the difficulties and challenges, like they're just compounded really with another child. So we talked about like staying up late to work, like that's just been pushed back. So like we stay up even later, and things like that just to fit stuff in because there's just no time for anything. Trying to fit in work and life and children and parenting, just real challenge. So it does feel like things are beginning to settle down again for us, as it did first time round, as we're beginning to approach the year mark, particularly because childcare, you know, there's a horizon that we're beginning to approach where we actually will have good childcare, with Lily beginning to start school and Lola beginning nursery. Like, we can kind of sigh a breath of relief that we have a little bit of space in the week, that we're not just juggling everything manically. And I remember when Lily started nursery, like, it's a different pattern again, but at least it feels like you have a little bit of space to be able to actually get work done and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward in a cautious way to what that new pattern will look like for us. We did touch on starting school in this episode. We were looking to the future and saying it will be a whole new pattern, and as of recording this, Lily starts school in reception next week, like right now in September, and so that's really interesting. We're going to do a whole episode on that experience for us, but yeah, I don't quite know yet what that pattern will look like, but it's definitely going to change up how we manage work and life and what it looks like. We've got more days covered, but she's not in as long on each day. So yeah, it will be interesting to see. You have to pretend you've just listened through a load of stuff that I've edited together later.
Oh yes, that was excellent.
Well, we've reached the end of our summer specials. This 6 weeks of resharing some of our old episodes that we first started the podcast with 2 years ago. I hope you've enjoyed this little looking back at our Disney classics.
Disney classics?
We said it was a bit like Disney classics. Have you forgotten how we started the show?
Yes, I have.
It's a recurring joke. Do I have to explain my jokes?
I was like, he's lost it. We don't do anything about Disney.
If you've not enjoyed it, then that's fine. Going forward, there will be brand new conversations. We've already recorded some, and we've got more to go. I'm super looking forward to sharing them with you, and I hope you'll join back with us through the autumn for a new batch of episodes, a new series of Don't Wake the Baby, your #1 Yorkshire comedy, married couple parenting with babies and toddlers podcast. In the meantime,
Don't wake the baby.
sleep well, God bless, cheerio.